The Beatles. Their impact on music, fashion, youth culture, and the world at large is undeniable. Our journey takes us back to Liverpool, England, in the late 1950s, where a group of young men came together to make music that would change the world. Their story is one of passion, perseverance, and an unyielding belief in the power of their dreams. The Quarrymen, like many young bands, were eager to play anywhere that would have them. They honed their skills in Liverpool's skiffle and rock and roll scene, playing at church halls, school dances, and local pubs. John Lennon and Paul McCartney's songwriting partnership began to sprout during this period. Their early compositions hinted at the songwriting prowess that would later define a generation. The band's name went through several iterations before they finally settled on the Beatles in 1960. This spirit of playful rebellion, combined with their undeniable musical talent, began to attract a small but dedicated following in Liverpool. In 1960, the Beatles embarked on their first residency in Hamburg, Germany. Playing for hours on end, night after night, they honed their musical skills to a razor-sharp edge. They experimented with different genres, incorporating elements of blues, R&B, and even German cabaret into their sound. This period saw the emergence of John Lennon's raw, charismatic stage presence and the solidifying of the band's musical interplay. Stuart Sutcliffe, a talented art student, briefly became the band's bassist and influenced their visual aesthetic. Despite the challenges, the Beatles emerged from Hamburg as a tighter, more confident, and musically adventurous band. Returning to Liverpool in late 1961, the Beatles were a changed band. They quickly became the undisputed kings of Liverpool's beat music scene, drawing large crowds to their performances at the Cavern Club. The Cavern's electrifying atmosphere helped forge a unique bond between the Beatles and their fans. It was at the Cavern Club that the Beatles caught the attention of Brian Epstein, a young record store manager. Epstein saw in the Beatles a group that could achieve national, even international stardom. He offered to become their manager, and despite initial skepticism, the band was won over by his enthusiasm and business acumen. Under Epstein's guidance, the Beatles transformed from a rough live act into a polished, professional outfit. This set the stage for their international stardom. In 1962, the Beatles secured a recording contract with Parlophone, thanks to Brian Epstein. George Martin, a classically trained producer, was assigned to produce their first single. On June 6, 1962, the Beatles entered EMI's Abbey Road studios to record Love Me Do. Pete Best was replaced by Ringo Starr just weeks before the recording. Ringo's arrival solidified the classic Beatles lineup. Love Me Do, released in October 1962, reached number 17 on the charts. It introduced the world to the Beatles' unique blend of catchy melodies, tight harmonies, and youthful exuberance. The year 1962 was pivotal for the Beatles, marked by significant change and artistic growth. They secured a recording contract, released their debut single, and solidified their lineup with Ringo Starr. They honed their skills on stage, playing an average of 2 shows a night across the UK. Brian Epstein worked tirelessly to promote the band and secure high-profile gigs. He revamped their image, replacing leather jackets with matching suits. Epstein's efforts began to pay off as the Beatles gained national attention. By the end of 1962, the Beatles were on the cusp of something special. Their unique blend of musical talent, youthful charisma, and relentless ambition positioned them perfectly for the changing cultural landscape. The Beatles' early sound was a vibrant tapestry woven from diverse musical influences. Their music reflected their love for American rock and roll pioneers like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Buddy Holly. The blues, with its raw emotionality, was another key influence on the band's sound. John Lennon's gritty vocals and George Harrison's bluesy guitar licks owed much to blues legends. The Beatles also drew inspiration from their British musical heritage, incorporating elements of skiffle. The genre's influence added a touch of folksy charm to their early recordings. In 1963, Beatlemania truly exploded onto the world stage. The release of their debut album, Please Please Me, propelled the band to the forefront of the British music scene. The album topped the UK charts for 30 weeks. The Beatles' music captured the spirit of youthful optimism and rebellion. Their image, cultivated by Brian Epstein, became iconic symbols of youthful rebellion. As their popularity soared, the Beatles' concerts became increasingly chaotic affairs. The phenomenon of Beatlemania transformed the landscape of popular music. The Beatles' early years were a period of intense creativity, relentless hard work, and an unyielding belief in their shared musical vision. Their journey from Liverpool to Hamburg and finally to London is a testament to the transformative power of passion and perseverance. Their music captured the spirit of a generation, becoming anthems for a world on the brink of social and cultural change. The Beatles' story is a reminder that even the most extraordinary journeys begin with a single step, a shared dream, and an unwavering belief in the power of music to change the world.